You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
What is going down? What is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Today's episode, guys, we're going to dive into some Avengers Endgame. Yes, I spoke about it last week a little bit. I didn't want to spoil it from anybody. A week has passed, and I think that if you haven't seen it by now, it's not really on your top priority list, and you'll see it whenever you see it, I guess. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about Mortal Kombat 11, my week with the game. You know, how I've been doing, what I've discovered, and how I feel as a whole on the game. Had some time to spend with it. Also going to dive into some One Punch Man. Yes, I got caught up on One Punch Man. I was behind because of Mortal Kombat and some other things, and I didn't get a chance to do that, but I did catch up with some One Punch Man. And also I'm going to talk about Demon Slayer as well, guys. So it's going to be a pretty lax show today, pretty chill show today. There's not too much else to talk about out here in these anime and video game streets. At least for me, that's not the case. So let's dive in, shall we? All right, man. I guess I'm going to start with Avengers Endgame. And man, where do I begin with this? Man, I don't even know. The movie, the movie is was very good. It was very long, but you know they call it the Endgame for a reason, and it was very sad as well, man. I'm sure a lot of you guys out here listening who have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, man. One of my favorite characters in the Marvel universe is hands down is Captain America. He is like, he's just that guy, man. I mean, I have a few others that I really, really enjoy, but if I had to pick one character, like one, and I could only pick one, it would be Captain America, man. And the way, you know, his story, I guess, if you will, ended was, I guess it was sad and it was also happy at the same time. Those who've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But we had some casualties, man. We had some casualties of war in this movie. And, you know, I'm not going to just, you know, go in and dissect this movie like, you know, piece by piece and all of this type of stuff. But I'm just going to talk about it as if, you know, just a casual person were to watch this movie and then walk out of the theater and just talk about it a little bit. You know what I mean? Let me first start off by saying, look, man, I loved comic books as a kid and as a teenager. And I don't know what happened between the teenage years and present time, what happened between that time. But I don't know, comic books just got away from me a little bit. And, you know, I'm starting to appreciate them a lot more. And I'm also starting to appreciate, you know, manga a lot more as well. And I'll give you a perfect example of that, you know, later on down the line at the end of the show. But, you know, superheroes were always like a big part of, you know, my childhood growing up and so on and so forth. Man, I had some awesome comic books back in the day, too. I still wonder what actually happened to all those books, man. I had some dope ones. I had some excellent crossovers, man. You know, Batman versus Punisher. I remember that book very, very vividly. Batman versus Predator. I remember having that book. I remember the whole, you know, A Death in the Family story, in Batman. And it was just so many great times, you know, me by myself reading comics and doing all this stuff, man. It was just an excellent time. And I'm loving how, you know, as sad as it was for this movie and for some of the heroes in this movie, I love the way that it came to a head. like the whole universe, so to speak. And it just came to a head, man. And it ended, I think, how it was supposed to end. You know what I mean? I'm glad they didn't keep it, you know, I'm glad they didn't keep it all the way cookie cutter, you know, like there had to be some deaths. You know what I mean? There just had to be. It wouldn't have been real to me if that wasn't the case. And, you know, we lost, you know, my baby. And I'm sure she's a lot of guys, babies out here in these Marvel streets. Scarlett, man. Scarlett Johansson, aka Black Widow. R.I.P. baby. I've always had a huge crush on her, and I just loved her in this Marvel universe. And you know, she went out like a G. I mean, what else can I say? How else can I put it? You know, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, we lost her, and we also, what everybody's, you know, probably thinking, in Iron Man, you know, Tony Stark, man. I mean, he sacrificed, you know, himself for, you know, the good of the people, man. He put himself first. I mean, he put the people first, and he had everything, you know, that he ever wanted. He had his girl, he had his baby, his child. You know, they were ducked off, you know, in a secluded area, you know, living their best life, man. And, you know, all it took was Captain America, aka Steve Rogers, however you want to say it. All it took was him and a couple other friends to show up, plant a seed in his head. And, you know, and that's all it took. He couldn't put it down. He couldn't walk away from it. He had to, you know, it was just nagging at him, man. I don't know, man. I have so much more respect for, you know, Iron Man's character, Tony Stark. I have so much more respect for him after watching this movie. I mean, I've respected him, you know, I respect all heroes and everything like that. But, you know, if you know, Tony Stark, you know, he was, you know, kind of a loose cannon, kind of, you know, just very cynical at times. And he didn't take a lot of things seriously. And, you know, after watching this movie, I really found a nice big chunk of respect ducked off somewhere. I don't know where it came from. I just found it in the movie theater at the end of the movie, and I have that for him now. You know, yeah, man. A lot of people said, you know, the ending didn't make sense to them. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but I don't understand that. Maybe there's some plot holes here and there, but I mean, when we're talking about comic books here, we're talking about, you know, the Marvel universe here. I mean, if you've read comic books ever in your life, then you know that, you know, anything is possible or anything is not possible. I'll say that. And, you know, this Marvel universe was, you know, bits and pieces of the comic book world with interpretations of, you know, common writers and things of that nature, all balled up into, you know, into this movie, you know, and not just this one, but all of the movies in this universe. You know what I mean? So, hats off to, you know, the studio for finishing it off, topping it off, man. And I just really appreciated this movie a lot. But those two casualties right there, I mean, that was crazy, man. I just hated to see that happen. But all in all, it was a great movie. Captain America, man. Captain America, at the end, he basically, the movie has a lot to do with time travel in a sense. We're going, you know, using a device which takes them, you know, back in time to where an older version or a younger version of themselves existed, where they could go in and they could actually intercept things that were going to happen and try to change, you know, the course of the future. If you weren't careful, you know, using this device, then you could actually find yourself stuck in that time, you know, forever, because it was kind of like a one time in, one time out type of thing. So for instance, or an example, I could say, I could use that device right now, and it would be, say it's 10 o'clock p.m. And I'm using this device. I jump in the device, I disappear, you don't see me. Now, inside of that realm, and that is, between the point that I disappeared and the point that I re-arrive back in the past, that whole void right there, that section, that could take years. I could spend years there, you know what I'm saying, in my time in between that void, inside of that void. Okay. But if I would come back out, back to where, I originally started to take that leap, then it would only be 5 minutes would only have been passed. So it's just an instant, out here in the current time warp that we're in. So if I was to take that trip, use that device, I could run up years in there. And that's pretty much what Captain America did. He was supposed to go in there, do something, and come right back. And he went in there, he did something, but he stayed in there and he lived out his life. He decided to say, you know what, I'm going to go back, in time, and I'm going to, readdress the love of my life, and I'm going to, start a life with her and do everything that, I wish I could have done. And he did that. And then he came back as an old man. He was only gone literally for a few minutes, for the current characters and whatever, and what they were experiencing. It was only a few minutes, but he ended up taking a scenic route and basically spending the majority of his life in there. And he comes back an old man. And basically his life as, Captain America is over, and I think that was the perfect end in a sense for him in this time, in this universe, and of course, if you know about comic books, that, this is just one, this is just one universe. Okay. There's dozens of different Captain Americas and dozens of different universes. There's another Captain America somewhere off in the distance in another hemisphere, in the world, in their world. And he's young, he's still young, and he's doing his thing. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of people who aren't familiar with comic books and how they work, they don't understand that. They think that, oh, well, I heard, Spider-Man died, or I heard so-and-so died, but why is he's still alive here? Why is, the Spectacular Spider-Man dead, but the Amazing Spider-Man said he's alive? So Spider-Man's alive. Well, technically he is, and technically he's not. You know what I'm saying? And I hope you understood that analogy. If you didn't, I'm sorry, but that's how they work. And who knows what's going to happen, after this movie. I don't know. Everybody sat in the in the theater until the credits rolled, like you do at every Marvel movie, to try to find out, what's going to happen next, because they always leave an Easter egg at the very end of the movie after the credits roll to kind of, give you a rundown of what is to happen later, to that next movie, that next film, a continuation of sorts. But you know what? The credits rolled, everything happened, and guess what? It was over. It was the end. And everybody kind of stood there, their jaws dropped, couldn't believe it. And now I know, at least I can say that, I don't know where we're going from here. I don't know what's going to happen next. Now in the comic books, there is, a universe where Captain America is old, and he, gives his shield to, he gives his shield to Falcon, and Falcon takes over as the new Captain America. And he gave, Falcon his shield in this movie at the end. And he's basically, telling Falcon that, it's his job now. So I don't know if we're going to get, a movie where this is going to happen. I would really like to see that, and see where they take it. Definitely something different. And same thing for, Spider-Man, he's young, he's a kid, and he really looked up to, Tony Stark and loved him actually. And Tony loved him, as well, almost like a son. And now he's gone, and the Spider-Man move on with, are we going to get new Spider-Man movies in the same universe? So in other words, are we going to get more movies eventually that are going to still take place in this universe? So everything that's happened to, these characters here are going to stay, so in other words, anytime we see Captain America again, he's just going to be old. Because in the book, when that happens, Captain America is still fighting crime. He's just behind the scenes now. He's helping Falcon, and he's doing things like that. You know what I mean? He's like more, think of like the Shield, you know, having kind of like a position as someone in the Shield, you know, not really fighting anymore, but still able to, you know, help in his own way. And, you know, I'm wondering if, I don't know how they're going to approach this. Are we going to get a new Captain America? Are we going to get you know what I mean? Moving forward? I don't know. I can't see anybody else besides him as playing Captain America. I just can't. I don't know. I don't know if I can see it. It's going to take time to get used to. I'll say that. You know, no more Black Widow. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I really don't. That's the mystery. At least right now it is. I don't know anything about it. Maybe you guys can tell me something. Maybe you guys know something. What could happen going forward or not. I don't know. I'm not running down the movie from point A all the way down to point, you know, Z, because I'm just touching on the most important parts to me in the movie. You know, Thanos is dead. Okay, we can all say that he's gone. You know, so, you know, and these characters, you know, all banded together. So now, you know, you still got Black Panther. I feel that there's going to be more Black Panther movies. I feel that there's going to be more Spider-Man movies. I feel that if there is a Captain America movie, it's going to probably be, you know, Falcon taking over the helm. I feel that they could do that. I don't know if they will, but I feel like some of these other characters, you know, are going to branch off and still have their thing, you know, and of course there's not going to be any more Iron Man movies unless, you know, they reach back and they go into, you know, where the books are and they, you know, they get somebody to take over the helm. And as the new Iron Man, who knows, man? The sky is the limit. I have no clue. I think that's the way they should go with it. You know, I'd rather have them do that than try to rehash in another, you know, Iron Man movie as another somebody playing Tony Stark or so on and so forth. I don't think they should do it that way. I think they should just do kind of like a continuation of, you know, what's going to happen next in this universe. It just would feel wrong if they didn't. That's just my opinion. But yeah, the Hulk, you know, he got his arm fucked up really bad. You know, when he had the glove on, and it looked like it handicapped him. I mean, I don't know if he'll heal from that, but right now, you know, from the outside looking in, you know, it fucked his arm up. I mean, he's wearing a cast, and you know, Hulk is strong as fuck. He's very durable, and for that to do that to him and have him like injured like that, I mean. That's saying something. I mean, the same thing is what killed, you know, Tony Stark. So he attempted the same thing and it killed him. His body could not handle that. You know what I mean? And that's in the Iron Man suit as well. So you got the protection of the Iron Man suit, but it still couldn't take, you know, the punishment that thing did. It almost killed Thanos as well. So, I mean, that is very, very powerful, you know, having all those gems. Very, very powerful. And, you know, I've thought that Thanos was an excellent character in this whole, you know, this whole movie, not just this movie, but his character development and everything like that. I thought it was awesome, man, because he had his own purpose. I mean, you could almost argue that, you know, his decisions on doing the things he did, you know, with all those gems, man, you could almost argue like, man, you could kind of see his point in a sense, in a way. Like, man, I can kind of understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. You know what I mean? But it was still wrong. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But to him, he thought, you know, well, maybe, yeah, it is wrong, but maybe this has to be done to make things right. Thanos is not in this movie. He is not like an evil person. He's not like a vindictive. He's not, you know, purposely trying to, you know, hurt other people and everything like that. He has a purpose he was trying to complete. And, you know, of course, the heroes of the series was not just going to let that happen. So there was disagreements and then a battle ensued, man. I guess I'll leave it at that, man. Most of you guys listening, I'm quite sure have seen the movie. If you haven't, man, I'm sorry. If you are listening to this podcast, you know, I put the name, you know, the title, you know, on the podcast so you guys knew what I was going to talk about. But still, you should still see the movie. I mean, if you haven't, I mean, it's just, it needs to be done. If you've seen any of the Marvel movies in that universe, it needs to be. This one is the end of it. This is basically like, a very, very important, you know, event that takes place from, for what's next. I mean, I don't know what's next. A friend of mine told me that the Shield is going to continue the show. So I mean, there's all kind of things still going on in the Marvel universe, and we got TV shows like I think Hulu's got a show called The Runaways that I have yet to jump on and get to. Eventually, I will, but who knows what that will be. There's the Cloak and Dagger show. I mean, there's a lot of things going on outside of that, and just great to be a Marvel fan. I mean, I'm really anxious to see what is going to happen next. What's the next Marvel movie besides the X-Men one that's coming up? Like, what's the next one going to be? You know what I mean? I really want to know, especially when it pertains to the Avengers. Like, where do the Avengers go from here? Because Captain America is the leader. He's not Captain America anymore. What's going to happen? I mean, you lost, some key players to the Avengers, man. So, I don't know, but if you know anything about the comic books, you know that there are a lot of different Avengers, man, that came and went. I'm guessing they plug and play some characters here, characters that we haven't seen before on the big screen, at least. Plenty of them in the books. So if they're smart, I mean, that's the way I would do it, because at the same time, you're introducing new characters. So you could do like, origin stories of new heroes that eventually become Avengers. And then you could hit them again later with a new Avengers movie. You could do it that way. That's the way I would do it. I would approach it. But, who knows what Disney and all those guys are going to do, man. They've dropped the ball on a few things, not necessarily, Marvel related, but they have, with other licenses that they have obtained. And I'm talking about Star Wars and we you know what I mean? And all of that. So we've got a new Star Wars game coming, and hopefully, this game, does something besides, microtransactions and letting fans down. But hopefully that won't be the case, especially with that, in my opinion, being their last straw. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll take it from there and move on, baby. But that's pretty much what I wanted to say as far as the Marvel universe is concerned, guys. Like I said, I wasn't going to just talk about every little thing, every character and all that going down, because like I said, there's still a lot of hidden things, and there's still a lot of Easter eggs for people who haven't seen this movie. I will say that Ant-Man is one of my favorite characters in the movie, in the MCU. I love Paul Rudd. I absolutely love him. He's one of my favorite actors. He's in a couple of my favorite movies all the time. Like I Love You, Man. I love that movie. One of my favorite movies, guys, if you don't know. I just love Paul Rudd, man. He's just a dope guy, man. And he played the shit out of Ant-Man, and I think that role was just perfect for him. But, I'll move on from that. And let's just move on from the Marvel universe right now, man. I mean, I'm just going to sit back and wait and see what happens. And definitely, when something else comes up, when I hear something, I will definitely bring that to you guys in the forefront and definitely be talking about that, because, I do love Marvel. Marvel, if I had to pick a comic, DC, everybody knows it's Batman. Okay. We all know Batman, Superman, those guys, but, Marvel, man, has so many characters, man, that are more known, so many different entities, too many groups, X-Men, Avengers, you know what I mean? I mean, just they're ridiculous. But yeah, man, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at my shelf right now, looking at, who am I looking at? Cable. I'm looking at Captain America, from the Winter Soldier movie, which is my favorite all time MCU movie, is Captain America, Winter Soldier. That movie is fucking excellent. I love that movie. I love the choreography and the fighting scenes. I love everything about that movie. I love both the Captain America movies, but that one there, oh, I love it. I love the suit he had on, the blue and silver. That shit was fucking whack. Love it, man. But I'm looking at Spider-Man, the black and white, the symbiote costume Spider-Man. I have another version of Captain America sitting on my shelf. I also have the old school 80s version, 80s, 90s version of Cyclops. I love fucking Cyclops too. He's like close. He's like my second favorite Marvel character. You know what I mean? and then I have Iceman, and then I picked up today, you guys, Beast. Yes, Beast. Beast just came out. If you guys are into figures and collectibles and stuff like that, some of you guys might be. You might have seen him out there in these collector streets. But yeah, man, he's one of the best ones. He's another one of my favorite characters as well. Finally got a Beast that I can be proud of. But yeah, I got lucky and found him at a GameStop, man. I was trying to pre-order it. And what's so funny is GameStop, had him on the website listed as being released on the 24th of this month. And I go into GameStop and I look down and there he is sitting right there. And I remember the day before, the guy at GameStop told me that they just got some Marvel shit in and he didn't see Beast back there, but there were a lot of packages. And I guess he was hidden between, a lot of them. He was the only one there. So I think that store just got that one and I was lucky enough to grab him. The only thing is GameStop, I learned that they're taxing. They're fucking taxing because originally it was only supposed to be $19.99, but they charged like $22.99. So I ended up paying them near $25 for that. So I won't be buying my shit from GameStop anymore unless it's like, a must have like Beast was. But yeah, I literally have Beast in the package sitting next to me. I haven't had a chance to get him out, do anything with him yet. Try to put him up with the rest of the clique. I'll also be picking up a Deadpool, and the Deadpool with the X-Men suit on. I really like that Deadpool with the X-Men suit, and I think he'll go perfect with the X-Men, the X-Men clique that I'm trying to build over here, trying to put together, I think that'll be dope. But yeah, man, I still need a Wolverine and shit. But yeah, man, I'm a small collector, small, modest collector, but I do love my X-Men. I do love my Avengers. I love my Captain America. And, I'm a fan. I'm just basically trying to tell you guys I am also a fan of that. I do love my anime. God knows I love anime. Anime is like numero uno. You know what I'm saying? But I do love my superheroes and shit too. Don't get it twisted. Please don't get it twisted. I love that shit too. And one of my coolest stories that I've read in quite some time, and I've been away from comics for a long time, a really long time. But Secret Empire was really a dope, fresh new story, man, and it was a Captain America story, so I had to, I had to check it out, and that's the last comic that I got, and before that, it was years before I picked up a book. I think before that was, what was it, The Dark Knight Returns, I want to say. So yeah, man, thinking about downloading some digital comics, man, and getting caught up on some stories. I've heard there's some nice stories out here. And we'll sit back and wait and see what's going to happen next in the MCU. With that being said, I'm going to leave that on the table and I'm going to walk away. Next, we are going to talk about Mortal Kombat 11 and what I've learned so far with a hands-on type of thing, what I've been experiencing. And really, guys, I still stand firm on my love for the game. I really do. And, learning more about the characters, finding out who I really mesh with. I'm really liking Sonya a lot. And a lot of people say, man, Cassie's dope too. And I'm going to try her out too and test her out because I need a good female character, I think, and I think it's going to be one of those two. Sonya felt really good to me. No pun intended, but she felt really good. And, I'm going to see what Cassie's about and then I'll make a decision on that. Cause, you can't have too many characters, but you just, a good 3 to 4 characters, man, and just stick to those, over the course of the period. I think that'll be enough for your boy. But also Sub-Zero, man. He's simple yet intricate and complex once you start to learn, how to use him in certain situations. And that's what I'm digging. I absolutely suck at Scorpion. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to candy coat it. I'm not going to run around a mulberry bush with you. It's just true. It's just straight real facts. I am trash with Scorpion right now. So I'm going to put him on the table and walk away. But, get ready. There's going to be some not Scorpion, but there's going to be some Sub-Zero videos coming soon to the YouTube channel because I'm going to give myself another week at the latest, maybe 3 or 4 more days to lab up with him. And then, I'll try to go online and take some videos, record some footage and me just acting an ass, online and, see where I'm at. And you guys will be able to catch those videos on the channel very, very soon, guys. So yeah, be looking out for that. But yeah, other than that, on Mortal Kombat 11, I'm gonna just keep it real. This is the one thing I just can't stand about the game, and I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way. But I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, straight up. And those that loot box stuff, man, is really starting to get on my nerves. You know what I mean? It's just now it just feels like a fucking chore, and it feels like you just have to, do this stuff to get that one piece. Like there's this one piece with Sub-Zero that I haven't gotten yet, man, and it sucks to not be able to have it. And then if you want all your characters, your favorite characters, intros and outros, I mean, that sucks as well. I mean, trying to get those intros and outros, man, I mean, you got to do so fucking much grinding. It's just ridiculous, and it gets tiresome, man. You know what I mean? So I just try to use it and grind while I do little stuff around the house and work out and things of that nature. I'll just, keep pushing keep pushing X to every so, 2-3 minutes and just keep it moving. Try to knock it out. But that's all we can do, until you get everything you're good with. That's why finding those characters that you like, I'm not trying to pick too many because I'll be grinding for fucking ever. I'll be grinding forever. And then when the new characters come out, okay, then, maybe, my tolerance level will have, gotten better because it would have been a while since I've had to grind like that. And maybe I want to grind with like Ash or, maybe Spawn or something like that. I might, one of the new characters. And then, I wouldn't mind grinding for that character because it's, I'm learning them at the same time and that's cool. But once I get these 3 or 4 characters knocked out, I mean, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not in the crypt anymore. I'm not doing none of that shit. Okay. I'm just focusing on practicing, labbing, and, playing online. That's it, man. And that's all. So that's how I feel about, the loot boxes, the treasure things and all that. Because right now, man, I've been out here spending money on these fucking chests, man, and getting straight trash, straight, tower, augments and shit like that. That's all I've been getting, like worthless fucking digital shit. I mean, I'm just keeping it real, NetherRealm. I had to say it, man. I love you guys, but if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to tell this truth. Okay. I'm telling you because I love you guys. It's tough love. That's what it is. It's just tough love. And I just have to tell you that, that loot box system, because it basically is a loot box for cosmetics. That's really what it fucking is. It's garbage. So, I'll stack up, the money that I get and I attain, in, all of that, time crystals or whatever the fuck. So when something does happen to appear, if you log in and you see something daily, okay, then I can buy that. I can buy this piece that I've been missing or whatever. Other than that, man, I'm out. I'm out with that. You know what I mean? So that's how I'll be using it, guys. I don't know about you guys. Some of you guys might enjoy the crypt. Some of you guys may enjoy grinding that way. But this is not an RPG open world game. So no, I will not be grinding. This is not Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I will not be fucking grinding in this fucking game. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. But that's where I am on that. Also, what is this fucking attack and defend shit? I mean, okay, you can create a 3-piece team of, your favorite characters and, you use your AI to go up against other people's AI and you do it, it's a daily thing. You can do it every day and you have 5 matches a day. And that's fine. And you can even fast forward it times 4. So you can just make it go extra fast. I wish you could do that for the fucking towers. That'd be dope. If you could do that for the towers, oh my God. But you fucking can't. But what's going on with the defend part of it, man? Am I the only one who doesn't know what the fucking, I'm supposed to do for the defend part? Because you always get those 5 attacking, dailies, but you never get the defend ones. Like there's always 0 for 5. I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one here, but so far what I've seen on the internet and heard people talking about on Twitter and so on and so forth, man, that seems to be the case. I mean, that's somebody has to actually come and select your team. And that is highly unlikely with all the people playing the game right now that your team is going to get picked. You know what I mean? It's like a needle in a haystack, but I digress. Never understood that. Still don't. Maybe they fix that with a future patch. Because right now those defending dailies mean shit. And, if that's the case, we're missing out on those 5 dailies every single day. That's some shit, other thing that we could have or something we could unlock by playing that. And we haven't been able to do so. So I don't know, man. NetherRealm, you tell me, are you saving that for something else? I don't know. I know that this this online league thing is coming up. So I'm trying to, that's when I'm also trying to just focus on one or two characters, man, so that I can be ready to see what that's about. You know what I mean? And at least be halfway decent. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that weak link in the squad. If that's what that is, if that's what they're doing, I don't want to be that weak, that the guy that everyone wants to pick last because you suck. You know what I mean? I don't want to be him. So I'm not trying to be. So I'm going to focus on that. And like I said, if I could just focus on labbing, man, I'd be so good right now. I'd be so good. But since I've got this game, 90% of the time I've played it, I've been fucking pretty much grinding. I haven't had a chance to really sit down with one character and just like really get in there and practice with them. I'm serious. I have really not had time to just commit like that because I'm just worried about getting all his or her shit. You know what I mean? I need all their intros. I need all their brutalities. I need, you know, those are important, those brutalities too, because in certain situations, man, you can pull shit off. I did learn a new Sub-Zero brutality last night, which is awesome. I really like that brutality. And then I learned something today a little bit earlier. I learned how to, you know, make a snowman, make polar bears, things of that nature with Sub-Zero. So that was cool. But I have to, you know, get into practice. I have to get into the lab and get to work. I really do. Time is of the essence. And, yeah, man, it's supposed to rain a lot this week. So I might be in the house and, I might be working on that then. But yeah, man, other than that, you know, as far as the rest of the game's concerned, I absolutely love the game. I love the graphics. I love the story mode of the game. You know, I love the hidden lore. That's one thing about the Crip I guess I can appreciate is that, you know, the lore on the other characters and things of that nature hidden, you know, all throughout is actually pretty dope. And, you know, that's where I am with Mortal Kombat 11, guys. So if you haven't picked it up yet, man, pick it up. If you like fighting games, pick it up. You got to pick it up. Yeah. All right, moving on. I'm going to talk some One Punch Man real quick, guys. One Punch Man, as you guys may know, I mentioned last week a little bit that I didn't get a chance to finish or get caught up on One Punch Man. The first episode, I remember telling you guys that it was, you know, it was okay. It wasn't, you know, breathtaking or anything like that. You know, of course, they have a new animation team, a new studio, and they're not as good as Madhouse. And, you know, it shows a little bit. But, you know, second episode came out and opened my eyes completely. And it was a lot better. I was all in, after that episode, after that second episode, man, I was ready and it continued to do that. I watched a couple episodes yesterday. I got caught up and I'm actually pleased with what's going on right now. So far, it's actually pretty fucking good. And I cannot wait to see what they're going to do next. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna say that if you guys haven't seen One Punch Man season 2 yet, definitely check it out. But also, if you haven't seen One Punch Man period in general, like seriously, check it out. Give it a shot. Yeah, if you have Netflix, you can definitely see season 1 there. If you have Hulu, you can see season 1 and season 2. I just don't like the fact that season 2 is not complete yet. It's still, you know, week to week, which in my opinion should have been already done. Since, you know, we had to wait damn near 3 years for season 2 to come back around. And yeah, now we're still waiting week to week. I just, you know, I'm spoiled. I'm just keeping it real. I know that. And, you know, these week to week shows, man, I just can't do it. Like Game of Thrones, I'm not watching Game of Thrones yet because, I'm waiting for the last episode. I mean, this is the second to the last episode I heard today. And I think the last episode is next Sunday. And I might as well just go out and wait and for the final episode to drop and then finish it then. That's what I think I'll do because it's actually not a full-fledged, full-length season this time. I didn't know that. They're finally just getting everything together and finishing it up and that's fine. But I want to catch it, you know, I want to catch it when it's all done. I'm just spoiled like that. And there's so much stuff to watch. There's so many different shows and stuff now. That's the good thing about, you know, where we are today, in society as far as, you know, programs, shows. There's so much shit that to consume. You know, there's always something on your to watch list. There's always something you could be watching, catching up on. And so you can distract yourself until the stuff that you were waiting for comes. And then you see what I'm saying? Like that's the beauty of that. You know, you have everything at your fucking fingertips for the most part. Unless it's a new show and there's nothing you can do until the show comes out, you know, but you know, there's always something. My anime list is like so like thick right now. I got so much shit that I could be, you know, peeling back, and which brings me to this last segment of the show. Going to be talking about, Demon Slayer. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me tonight. Demon Slayer, guys. If you haven't seen it, I've mentioned it before, and I'm going to mention it again, especially for the newcomers who've never listened to the show before. Like, please, if you like anime, if you like anime just a little bit, and you want to see something good, if you enjoyed Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, which is one of my top 5 of anime that I've seen, I mean, up to this point, you really, really are doing yourself a great disservice by not checking out Demon Slayer. And what's so upsetting about Demon Slayer is what I just talked about previously, is the fact that it's a week-to-week thing, and you have to wait. You get 21, maybe 22 minutes of excellence, and then you're waiting another week before you get that next piece. You know what I mean? It's like being hungry, getting a potato chip, and they tell you, well, you reach in that bag and somebody snatches it from your hands. Take your hands off me. You have to wait till next week. That's pretty much how it feels, how Demon Slayer feels. That's how it makes me feel right now, and that's how I feel. So what I did was I said, fuck it. I'm not doing this anymore. I went earlier today, I went out and I fucking went to my Barnes and Noble store, and I fucking found volume 2 of Demon Slayer. Yes, I did. And, I didn't have that much money. I wanted to get, volume 3 as well, but they're like $10 a book, and I had some other things I had to do. I just paid rent and my car note and all that shit. So I was like, fuck, 10. I can give you 10. I can give you 10 right now. And I just bought Beast and, that type of shit. So, and I pre-ordered Smoke, that'll be at GameStop, so hopefully at the end of this month. So, I had my money kind of like stretched a little thin. I'm trying to start a Mortal Kombat collection, guys. Smoke is definitely on pre-order for your boy. For some reason, on a side tangent, a little bit from Demon Slayer, for some reason he's a lot cheaper at GameStop, or will be when he comes to GameStop than he is right now anywhere else. Like on eBay and in some of these other stores, man, they're charging like $85, $90 for this particular figure. All the ninjas, they have Smoke. I think they have Rain. I want to say they have Ermac. And of course, if you know about Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they're like $300 a piece. So yeah, that's not happening. So yeah, you got to get them while they're hot, because those things like fucking go up in price real quick. I think the company who makes them, I want to say they're called, what are they fucking called? Storm Collectibles. Yeah, Storm Collectibles, man. That is the company who makes them. But those things are fucking expensive, man. If you wait on them, they're already like out the box, $55, something like that, $54.99. After tax, it's like $60. So, they appreciate with value real quick. And if you don't get your hands on them, man, yeah, it's gonna be a problem. So I went ahead and got my hands on one and was able to find a Smoke to pre-order, and GameStop has it for $54.99. So I pre-ordered it. Yeah, I'm also gonna be picking up. What else? What did I see? I think Big Bad Toy Store has a super sale or some shit like that. They got my boy Quan Chi, man, for $5. I said, what? Say it again. $5. So I'm going to be picking Quan Chi up. Yes, it's safe to say. And then I also pre-ordered Sub-Zero and my boy Scorpion. McFarlane has a line coming out like sometime September. He's got actually some dope Fortnite figures, man, that are out. I've seen them at GameStop, man. They fucking look dope. I mean, I don't play Fortnite or anything like that, but those motherfuckers look fucking wet. I wouldn't mind having a couple of those in my collection just for shits and giggles. But and I said, okay, shit, McFarlane's gonna be doing the Mortal Kombat ones, Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Okay, I gotta have those. I went ahead and pre-ordered those. So yeah, those will be somewhere in September, guys. But yeah, trying to start a Mortal Kombat line, guys. Next, I think I might do Street Fighter. See how I'm feeling, because I'm a big Sakura fan, and I love me some Ken as well. The only one that they don't have right now is Balrog, and I wish they would just fucking hurry up and do Balrog. Give this man some respect, and let's get a Balrog made, please. Please. Storm Collectibles, they're killing it too. We're talking about figures real quick. I got distracted on the side tangent, but guys, I might have to get this one as well. This fucking Saget, he looks fucking awesome. He looks awesome. He looks really, really awesome, man. He's gonna be a beast. So, but the fucked up thing is, I don't like, the other, the Ryu and the Ken Storm collectibles. So he wouldn't scale very well with those. So I don't know. I always liked Sagat. Has definitely been a dope character. Definitely a OG of the Street Fighter series, and he might just be something I might have to say fuck it and grab just because he's that dope. You know what I mean? See where we go with that. But yeah. All right, let me get off of this. Back to what I was supposed to be talking about, which is Demon Slayer. I went ahead and picked up, the manga. I picked up volume 2, and I'm going to start that probably tomorrow, maybe even a little bit tonight. Who knows? But yeah, I just couldn't wait a whole nother week before, episode 6. Yeah, I just couldn't wait, man. He actually got, man, I'm telling you guys this. You know what? I'm just gonna break it down real quick. This why I love this story so much. Why I love this anime so much, real quick. Okay, the story I mentioned it. The story is about a boy. Okay, a young boy who basically is taking care of his family, his whole family. He has a big family. Okay, and he works very, very hard, man. You know what I'm saying? He leaves, he travels, sometimes great distances to earn money for his family. And one particular night, or day, actually, he went to go, do his daily thing that he always does to try to go earn money. And he comes back home, man, to a slaughtered family. His whole family had been slaughtered, except for one person, and that is his sister. He has only one survivor left, is his sister. And yeah, man, it was fucked up. She got turned into a demon. She went all demon on him and tried to kill him. And for some reason, he was able to break her. But before he was able to do that, a demon slayer, appeared, and it was going to kill his sister. But he begged that demon slayer, please don't kill my sister. Please, please, please. He begged so hard. The demon slayer couldn't do it. He couldn't bring himself to kill his sister. So he let them make it. And he sensed something in the boy and even in his sister, because he actually eventually got to his sister somehow, some way, and broke her to the point where she was not attacking anymore. She wasn't attacking him. She was still a little hostile towards everybody else, but then that eventually changed as well. And he sensed something into this kid, and he decided to, give him a shot at becoming a demon slayer. It's no light work to become one. I mean, you got to go through these tests and these trials, and you have to make it out alive, or else, you just can't do it. He wants to become a demon slayer for his sister, to help his sister. He wants to learn how to get stronger. He wants to learn how to defend himself and his sister, and defend other people from becoming what his sister has become, and or, being killed, and going through what his family went through. He doesn't want to see that anymore. So he basically got invited to go train and become one. And, they put you in this fucking forest full of fucking demons. I mean, I think it was like 20 of them. Okay. It was 20 of them. A lot of them really young, like him, really young kids, couldn't be no older than like 15, 16 years old, putting you guys in here and, saying, look, if you can survive here for a fucking week, if you're good after that, then, the survivors, man, you made it. You made it. We'll go ahead and get you started. So that's pretty much, the premise of what happened. I mean, he was one. I think it was only 4 survivors after all that time. He was one of them. And basically they gave them their suits, and they all get a chance to pick, a sword. I mean, not a sword, but they all get a chance to pick a ore, which is what their swords will be eventually made from. So they got to choose that. The swords, took time to make. They were handcrafted. So, they're special swords as well. They're demon slayer swords. And, after that, they'd get their swords, and then they'd get their assignment once they got their sword. Not too long after that, they'd get their first assignment. There's also a ranking system where, there's 10 ranks, the bottom, right now they're all ranked at the bottom, rank 10 or whatever. There's actual words for those, but shit, like I said, I can't pronounce them right now. But, that's where we're at right now. He actually got his sword. Now he made it back home. His sister, recognized him. It's so much more to it. When I'm telling you, I'm just giving you a brief rundown on it. There's some other interesting characters too that he comes across, but, they also get issued. What I find is crazy is they get issued their own crow. a crow that can actually speak to them, and a crow that actually comes and brings them their assignments. Like literally, his crow that was issued to him literally came, flew into his fucking house, and basically opened his beak up and then started speaking and told him, this motherfucker, this is what you have to do next. This is your first mission. This is what's happening. Women, young girls are disappearing over here. We need you to go to this location and find the demon and kill him. This is your first mission. And that's how the fucking episode 5 ended, this Saturday when I watched it. And I was sitting there with my jaw touching my fucking toes, because I just, I said I knew they were going to fucking do it like this. Like they were going to end it like this. Why? And thank God for manga, because man, manga is so ahead of the anime. And, man, I think this is like, yeah, I went and bought it. I saw it. I said, Barnes & Nobles has it. I'm going tomorrow and I'm going to fucking get this. And yes, it's in my hand and I cannot wait. If you go to my Instagram, you will see it. I had to post it. It's there. But yes, guys, please. Especially if you haven't seen the anime right now. If you haven't seen it, I mean, 5 solid episodes, man, it is really nice. You're going to get 5 very good episodes of, this show. The anime is, it's so good too. It's so good too. The animation style, everything on here is on point. You can tell that the production on this fucking anime is like so good, man. Right now, we're only slated to get 26 episodes. Right now, that's going to depend on the popularity. That's going to depend on the feedback and everything like that. And, the politics behind the scenes, how that shit works. I'm totally kind of wrapping myself just in case it doesn't make it past 26 episodes, because sometimes that does happen, with some anime, and it's just the way of the fucking world. But if that happens, I'm prepared for it and I have the manga to fall back on. But they've already got figures like coming out. So I think it's going to be doing pretty good, man. I think the manga is pretty popular. And, yeah, Crunchyroll actually has, some figures for $20 for pre-order. And guess what? Your boy is, making that move, even though they're not coming out until like October. But I want them. I need a Tanjiro in my life, man. I love this kid. When you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. This dude is just like straight up. He's a G, man. He's a straight G, and you can't hate but to love him. You know what I'm saying? You got to love this character. But, yeah, man, that's going to be it, man. I mean, that's all I have this week, guys. Like I said, it was a pretty chill week. I finally got a chance to catch up on some things, and I wasn't scrambling all over the place. Things weren't falling in my lap from all over the place, but, a lot of things still got done, and, I'm pretty pleased with this podcast, I think, for what it is. So, I want to also thank the new listeners. If you're new to the show, I want to thank you guys for coming, lending me your ear. Welcome to the podcast, guys. And I hope to see you, next Monday and every Monday after that, tuning in, streaming or downloading or listening while you're, going to sleep, or listening while you're jogging or driving to work, or whatever you do when you're listening to podcasts, man. You know what I mean? Thank you for listening to this podcast. And for all my members, my guys and girls out there who've been listening, I love you guys. I love you. Stop playing. I love you guys, man. I love you fucking to death. Thank you for being a part of this family, and I will see you guys next week for sure. With that being said, guys, that's going to do it for the show. Thank you for coming out. If you want to show some love, you want to show a little support for your boy, you can also go to www.beautifulnerds.com. Nerds is spelled Nurdz. You can get some merch. You can get cups. You can get backpacks. You can get hoodies. You can get stuff like that, man. And, all these things, surrounding nerd culture, because that's the culture that I live by. And I'm sure that's the culture that you guys live by as well. At least some of you, check out the store, man. Find something you like, you know what I mean? And make a purchase, can do that. More stuff coming on the way. New stuff being added monthly, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, building the store is looking nice. Mwah, beautiful. But yeah, check that out, guys. Also check out my YouTube channel. That's Studio MacGyver TV. You can catch that. I've got plenty of videos, gameplay footage, and things of that nature. Even the podcast that you're listening to right now, those are on there as well. So yeah, man, with that being said, man, I mean, hey, thank you for fucking with me. Thank you for being down for me. And you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.